Hi, I'm Chip. I'm in Kampala, Uganda, and today I'm going to give you the demonstration that we at the Grain Game call Indestructible Water Balloon. It's a very easy demonstration. All we're going to need to have is a water balloon, a simple air-filled balloon, a candle, and some matches to light the candle. The teaching that I'm going to give you today is going to be used to help kids understand two different verses of the Bible, Acts 4:12 and John 14:6. When we begin the teaching, we're going to talk about the judgment of God and what it would be like to stand before God in all of His holiness and righteousness. God, of course, is perfect, and God, of course, is holy. So the idea of a sinner standing before Him would cause anyone who really thought about it in a sane way to tremble and to be very fearful of what it would be like to come into God's presence. We're going to use the candle here, which is going to have a little fire that we've lit to remind kids about the holy nature of God. Fire is like God because it's both beautiful and destructive. We want to be near it, but if we get too close at the wrong time and in the wrong way, it will hurt us very badly. So we're going to ask the kids at the beginning of our demonstration this question: what would it be like if we touched this balloon to the flame? Do we think the balloon and the flame would be very good friends? Most of the kids are going to say no. They expect that the balloon and the flame are not going to be very good friends, and maybe even some will say correctly that the balloon will not even survive for 1 second. We're going to get the kids in the front row to put their hands over their ears like this. I'm going to bring the balloon close to the candle, and in a dramatic fashion I'm going to let it hover there for just a second, and then I'm going to actually touch it to the flame, and you see that it will not even survive for 1 second. Immediately the flame pops the balloon, and that is a great picture of what it will be like when a sinner comes into the presence of a holy God. He is like a fire, beautiful and destructive, and there's not a chance for a sinner to be in His presence the way we would come in ourselves. So what we're going to do to demonstrate the good news of Christ is we're going to relight our candle, and we're going to bring in a different balloon. I'm going to hold up a second balloon for the kids, and I'm going to ask them the question: do you think this balloon will have any better of a chance of surviving than the first? Most of them are going to say that they're not quite sure what will happen, but they'll assume that because this balloon is the same kind of balloon as the other one as far as it came from the same package and it looks like the same kind of material that it's made from, they'll say this balloon will survive just about as long as the other one did, which is hardly any at all. Then I'm going to take this balloon, which has water inside it, I'm going to touch it to the flame, and it will not burst. I'm going to touch it to the flame again, and again it will not burst. And I'm going to touch it to the flame, and I'm going to touch it to the flame, and I'm going to touch it to the flame, and the balloon is going to be in great shape. In fact, you can look right here and see the black marks, which will show you that the balloon really did touch the fire, but it remained unpopped. And of course, the reason is this balloon has one thing that is very different. This balloon is filled with water. The water inside the balloon conducts the heat and pulls it away from the skin so that when the flame touches the skin, the full impact of the heat is not felt. The heat is pulled into the middle so that the skin survives and this balloon goes unpopped. And this gives us a great opportunity to talk to the kids about two special verses of Scripture. Acts 4:12, which says, "Salvation is found in no one else, for there is no other name that has been given under heaven to men by which we must be saved." And John 14:6, which says, "Jesus said, I am the way and the truth and the life, and no one comes to the Father except through me." And then we're going to use this opportunity to teach the kids that the balloon is saved by what's inside of it. And in the same way, Christians are saved by who is inside of us. When we come into the presence of a holy and righteous God, Christians do not have to fear. Because Jesus is inside of us, the flame of God's judgment is going to be pulled toward Christ, not toward us. We'll be able to survive. We are different, not because on the outside we're any different. We're all sinners just like any other man in the world. But because Christ is inside of us and the heat will be pulled away from our fragile, sinful natures, we will survive. The balloon that had only air in it, it's popped in a second because it can't stand the heat of the flame. But this balloon is different. It's saved by what's inside it. And that's a great way to help kids understand the truth of Acts 4:12 and John 14:6. It's not knowing about Christ. It's not being aware of Christ. It's not going to a church where people talk about Christ. It's actually having Christ inside us. That's what makes the difference when it comes to salvation. My name is Chip. I'm in Kampala, Uganda. It's been a pleasure speaking to you today. And if you'd like more information about this demonstration, please click on our other YouTube video, which will be called Grain Game Indestructible Water Balloon Extra. Thanks.